And I saw a very underserved niche for doctors. They're unique not because a certain different types of laws or tax laws applies to them. They're unique because they start earning money very later in life. They spend a number of years training, and then when they start making money, that's when they start getting anxious about this whole premise of retirement. So therefore they remain susceptible to reacting or acting to very short-term things that comes their way. Somebody says, well, this is a great investment scheme, peer pressure, colleagues bought a property, I should buy a property, and all these things. So I particularly thought there is a very, very relevant underserved niche in amongst medical community to go and say, well, look, actually, you're going to be okay. Statistically speaking, you don't really need to take significant level of risk to end up pretty well, allegedly in the top 10 percentile of the society financially. So that was really the motivation. And Elixir started with one client in 2000s now. We live in expensive times. We've sort of kind of still carrying the costs from COVID pandemic financially, and also often it's very expected for people to demonstrate conservative behaviors in terms of spending, which is not a bad thing. I mean, there should definitely be considerations around the fact that our doctors should pay off that debt faster one day or the other. So if they're worrying about that, I guess that's not a bad worry, it's a good worry. Yeah. Recourse. And if I was to give you an analogy to that, it's like me taking some, off the street herbal medicine versus a doctor writing a prescription for me. So I don't really have a legal recourse if I ended up in an ED against that person or vendor or selling that on the street to me. Financial advice is a fiduciary relationship of nature. It's a little bit more than just a professional relationship between a licensed advice practitioner and a clinician, as supposedly. So same of me sort of reading, a medical journal, trying to understand something symptomatically or described or one way or the other. You would call me out that I wouldn't be able to do it, or you would understand that I'm not trained to do these kinds of things. So therefore, I would very much encourage doctors not to act on general information or educational content pretty much because purely they're just not trained to deal with this. There's issues. I've seen content going around and go, well, you should acquire this property in a trust, but there's a very good chance the person is talking about a trust, they've never read a trust deed in full. They wouldn't understand the legal implication of it. They wouldn't understand the disposal mechanism of assets held in a trust. And financial advice is extremely powerful. It can be very life-changing and as equally as life-devastating. So dealing with people's money, you've got to be trained. You've got to be licensed. You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to do it responsibly. There is a method on delivering financial advice. Free content or educational content on the internet is not delivering financial advice. Simply means that if you're always fully invested in a market drawdown, you really have two options: hope, hold, and pray for the market to bounce, which in fact, hypothetically in a very long time, that may be the case, or have the ability to not to ride that market fall. And that is exactly what dynamic asset allocation enables us to manage our clients' retirement monies in an expert way. Because if you incur a loss and if you don't have enough time for the market to do what it does to recoup that loss, often incrementally, for every % of loss, you have to take twice as much risk to recover your retirement monies. It's from really a few issues. One is that either in a private practice, they're trying to build up a reliable source of income by increasing the number of patients. During that time, they may decide to locum for a little bit of cash flow security, or often they hold public staff specialist positions, which automatically earns them a wage. So they have a combination of a wage that's taxed and then a large proportion of the earnings pre-tax. Now that can be quite confusing and rather a trap for an untrained doctor to then be able to decide, well, how much of these monies are actually mine? How much can I reallocate to my debt? How much I can spend on my lifestyle? And then I've got this really complex premise of retirement to address. And that is what makes us specials in dealing with these issues. Because the sources of earnings, the sporadic nature of their income, and often, sometimes in case of registrars, whilst they're trying to get on a program, they go and locum. It enables them to amass quite a lot of money very fast. And then in about 15 months later, they've got relatively a large taxation issue to deal with.